All right, well, welcome. Yesterday I wanted to do grades, and I forgot to do it in my video while I was walking. So why not take advantage now? The weather is perfect out here. It's like 65 degrees, 66 degrees, some sun, no wind, not even like a Christmas to the air. Christmas, not Christmas. So it's nice to be out here walking. Want to get my steps in, so why not do the grades? So I'm going to break it down into 4 sections of the team. So starting with special teams, and every game starts with special teams. Regardless of how the game starts, it has to be a special teams play. Okay? Special teams for the Jets. I mean, let's be honest. They have been really, really good, if not almost perfect this year. I'm giving them special teams. Listen, I don't give anybody A's right now. Especially when you're only 3-3, but special teams are going to get a B+. Okay, and here's the reason why. First of all, you don't get that first win against Buffalo without a punt return at overtime. I mean, think about it. A punt return, a walk-off punt return at overtime. Last time I remember something like that was 2002 in Buffalo. After Drew Bledsoe sent the game to overtime, the Jets on opening day. Chad Morton, 2 kickoff returns in that game, 1 in overtime to end the game, a walk-off kickoff return. So why not a kickoff, a punt return, walk-off for a touchdown? Also, Greg DeLeg, what could you say about him? He has put up more offensive points, sadly probably, than the offense. But right now, he has been really accurate. Last week, 5 field goals against the Eagles, 4 of them when the team was actually in the red zone. So I'm glad he's on our team. I only wish we could use him for extra points. But right now, the way this team is scoring without the field goals is very scarce. So I'm going to take Greg DeLeg anytime. Punt coverage has been good. Yes, the Jets have downed a few deep. Remember, field position against the Kansas City game, even the Buffalo game was really good. So all in all, listen, like I said, I don't give anybody A's or A- right now. Not after 6 games, not at 3-3. 5-1, yeah, you get that A-, maybe an A. But right now, I'm going to say B- for special teams. Okay? Defense. Now, everybody's talking about this defense. They were talking about the defense before the season started. Okay, defense. DJ Reed, 85 Bears. 2000 Ravens. The 80s with Taylor and Carson and Lennon Marshall and what have you with the Giants. Romanowski. I mean, you can name all these greats. The Jets are not the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens. They are a good squad. They're not a great squad right now. Can they transform to a great squad? Yes. Their secondary could be rivaling Revis and Cromartie with Sauce and Reed. Okay. The linebackers, the defensive line, all very talented, all very, very good, but they have their weaknesses. Okay, so you look at the Jet defense and you say, you know what? They have kept them in every game except for that Cowboy game. They basically have given the ball to Zach and said, just put some points on the board. Okay, they had Josh Allen throw 2 interceptions week 1. Mahomes, I believe, had 1. Should have been 2. And then you had, what's his name? Jalen Hurts with 4 turnovers last week. So they have been on the money, but their downfall. Usually the Jets defer to kickoff, so, they won't receive, they'll kick it off. They want to do that, get the ball towards the end of the half and then start the second half. It works most of the time, not all the time, but the way it has to really work is when you kick off, you have to hold your opponent on the drive. Okay? They can't score on that first drive. Unfortunately, with the Jets, the opponents have been scoring early. The Jets have been playing from behind just about every game. I think the only game they didn't play from behind at one point was the Bronco game, and that went back and forth. So defense has to come out, and they have to play 60-plus minutes. They have to play a full game the way they played that second half. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the second half of games, besides the Cowboy game, Cowboy game, they got blown away 35-10. I think they've given up 14 points. They didn't give up any points in the second half to the Eagles. I think they gave up 3 to the Chiefs. And I think they gave up 3 to the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. But their second half defense has been on the money, but they have to get off the field early and set a tone. Secondly, they have to also get off on third downs. Okay? Whether it's the first drive, third drive, whatever. Yes, they're getting to the quarterback. Yes, they're forcing turnovers, something that their defense didn't do last year. And that was, I think, a main problem last year with them not coming out and winning that one game they did to get into the playoffs. But they need to basically get off the field on third down, force them to punt, change the structure of the game. Make these teams know, listen, on 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 13, we're not going to pick up 7, we're not going to pick up 18. I think that Eagle game or the Bronco game, okay, I think it was like a 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 16, they picked up 21. Can't happen. When it's 3rd and more than 2, get off the field. Even if it's less than 2, get off the field. Let them go 4 down territory if they have to. But by all means, get off the field, and that's what they need to do. So I'm giving the defense a B-. Okay? There's a lot of room for improvement. Yes, they played great without Sauce the other day, without DJ Reed. They should be coming back. But big thing is here, you got to get off the field. You got to play with a lead. This defense playing with a lead, there's only, you could really unleash the dogs. So, B-. Offense. Let's be honest. The Jet offense is nothing without the special teams and the defense. Okay? And I am not going to criticize or kill Zach Wilson the way a lot of the media has portrayed him and has criticized him. You got to remember, Zach was thrown in to be a starter 2 years ago. Okay? Last year, really, had the whole thing with Mike White, that abysmal game against the Patriots, the way he didn't take any type of blame or any type of ownership over that game against the Patriots last year. So what do? Woody Johnson, and you can say whatever you want about Woody Johnson, he went out and got the quarterback that this team wanted and needed to take that big step, okay? This is different, and I don't want to bring him up, but different from the Brett Favre. Brett Favre came to the Jets, and Mangini really didn't change anything. Tannenbaum didn't really change anything. It was Brett Favre taking over. The Jets went out and got Aaron Rodgers' buddies, okay? Lazard and Cobb, okay? They added some depth. This team, again, was supposed to have Aaron Rodgers lead them to a very, very promising season, while Zach sat on the bench with a clipboard on the sidelines, hat backwards, learning, taking it all in. Opening night, all the hoopla, everything, the light shows, the wristbands, every media outlet you can imagine, and 4 plays in. And whenever they talk about the Jets, they'll start off with the season started 4 plays in with Aaron Rodgers. Okay? That all went down, and Zach Wilson had to come off the bench and lead that team. And he managed that first game. He really did not look good in that second game or the third game. It was only when they went against the Chiefs where he started to open up a little bit. He is not near where we need him to be, nor do I think he's near where we need him to be, but he's pulling away from where he was, and that's what we need from this team, and that's what we need from Zach. Zach Wilson with Breece Hall healthy, who Breece Hall, touches the ball and he goes 70 yards, 60 yards, 40 yards, 30 yards, could be a game breaker. Okay, you have Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson needs some support. If they could get the ball to Cobb or Lazard a little bit more. Conklin. I mean, think about that. Conklin, the tight end, is finally in the game, and he is breaking tackles, and he is moving the ball. So these things are really, really there for him to utilize. But I'm giving the defense a D. Not a D plus, not a D minus, a D. They're not failing, because you can't be failing when you put up points like that. And I'm not saying in a super way or in a overpowering way. They are not the Rams from 99 and 2001. But when this team can only put up points on short fields, and sometimes not even on short fields, okay, they can't put up any points on short fields, and you have to rely on Breece Hall breaking one off for over 70 yards to score. That's not a good offense. A good offense with this defense is sustainable 5 to 7, 8 minute drives, 65, 70-yard drives. Ground and pound, some passes, and then 1 or 2 deep. Keep the defense honest. Let them know you may go deep on them. Also, you have the 2 running backs, the young running backs that could do it. The Dalvin Cook, who's on the trading block, maybe he'll come in to spell a running back, but he is not the answer anymore. Somebody said he's like the new Le'Veon Bell. The difference between Le'Veon Bell and Dalvin Cook was Le'Veon Bell had off for a year. Dalvin Cook still had his legs. Okay, that's what you need from this offense. Yes, it's nice to hand the ball off and you have the ball for 10 seconds and you score a touchdown. If you can do that every time you hand the ball off, then fine. You don't need anybody. I could do that. Anybody can hand the ball off. But with this defense playing at such a high energy, a high presence, they need to sit down sometimes. They need to get their win back. So a night, and I'm not saying methodically 10 minute, 18, 25 plays a drive, but let your defense be able to go to the bench, grab some water, talk to the coach, look at the I'm looking at people's Halloween decorations. That one just scared the hell out of me. Let them be able to keep them on the sidelines, and you know what, then you have the other team's defense on their feet and on their toes. So that's what I want from the offense. Am I going to see it? I don't know. Every week they seem to be taking a small step forward. They need to take a big step. Okay? Because Zach is the guy. I don't want to talk about anybody coming back, Rodgers coming back, anything like that. Zach is the guy right now. And for the most part, he could be a game manager. He could be Mark Sanchez. And that's really what they need, especially going into this part of the season. Okay, they got past probably the hardest section of the season before they get towards the end of the year again. So to be able to grab some wins and learn and advance would be great. Like, I would have loved to see Zach really, really open it up against Denver, an inferior opponent, but he really didn't. But then again, they got the win, a lot closer than we needed to be, but they got it. So, a D. Coaching. I've been up and down on this coaching staff all year long. Last year as well. When they first brought Saleh in, listen, and even Rex admitted it, they said, oh, he's a young Rex. And Rex was like, that's not me. That's not a young me. This is a guy who had the get back guy on the sidelines. He loves his defense. He is emotional. He'll drop the F-bombs. He'll also be that, and I guess it was scripted, coach that, start reading poetry on Hard Knocks to be inspiring. Okay, first of all, be who you're going to be. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there were times where I didn't think he was that bad, and there were times where I thought he was just playing out of his element. I think a lot of it was, again, you got to remember this coaching staff, Saleh, Hackett, Ehrlich, all of them thought they were going to have Aaron Rodgers leading their offense. So the way they went about strategizing, the way they went around game planning changed. Not 4 games into the season, not 3 quarters into the season, of a game. 4 plays. Again, go back to 4 plays. They had to change things up. And it took them a while. And I think going back to that New England game, okay, the New England game was dreadful. It was a puke fest. Rain, winds, nor'easter. It was like one of the first weekends it was raining here, because so far it's been 7 weekends in a row that's been raining here. And Joe Namath tweeting and going on the radio saying that Zach Wilson cannot be a quarterback. You got to get him out of there. He sat down. What's wrong with him? The talk shows, the fans, everybody. And I'm going to be honest, at the games, when they announced Zach, when Zach was on the center, they root for him. Okay, they root for Zach. They do not boo him. They start booing when he starts making these boneheaded mistakes, but he hasn't done that, okay? And I don't want to jinx him, so knock on wood. So you got to remember, the coaching staff was primed for Aaron Rodgers. They got Zach. Listen, I'm going for, filet mignon and, the best top shelf drink you have on the menu, and out comes, Salisbury steak and a Corona, where sometimes, you can get away with that, and that's satisfying, but not when you're trying to really take care of a hunger that's been over 50 years. You get my analogy? So, for the coaching staff, I'm giving them, I was going to go C-. I'm going to give them a D+. Okay? It took them a few games to get into it, to let Zach kind of do other things. They are finally getting Gibson in on the offense more than just being a special teams player. They're running reverses. They're running flea flickers. They are basically trying to open the playbook up, and I commend them for that, and I'm happy that they're doing that, and I'm hoping that as weeks go on, they get more and more. Trying to cross the street here, so I didn't want to get hit. Comfortable with putting the ball in Zach's hand. So that's what we have. So the only 2 passing grades, really, the only grades that stand out are special teams and defense. Coaching staff, offense, really, really need to set up their game. If we could get the coaching staff and the offense to C+, this team could do well, because their defense, if it stays the way it is, it'll be a force to be reckoned with. So those are my grades. I will have a preview video on Thursday or Friday. By then, we should know who's the starting quarterback for the Giants, and we should take it from there. But check us out. We are The Takeoff. You can reach us on email at thejets.takeoff@gmail.com. You could tweet us at The Jets Takeoff, which is our Twitter handle. You could find us on TikTok at The New York Jets Takeoff, Instagram at The New York Jets Takeoff, and of course, on this video, subscribe. YouTube, The Takeoff is the account, and The Jets Takeoff is the YouTube channel. Okay, thank you, and we'll talk soon.